Hi, you four. Welcome to another video of your class text. The boy in the dress. We're going to read on to the next chapter. So here we go. Chapter 5, just doodling. Dennis had never had detention before, so in a way he was quite looking forward to it. When he turned up at classroom 4C to report to the French teacher, Miss Windsor, he noticed there was only one other person who had been sentenced to an hour's incarceration. It was Lisa James. Only the most beautiful girl in the whole school. She was super cool too, and somehow she was always made her school uniform look like it was a costume in a pop video. Even though they had never spoken, Dennis had a really big crush on Lisa. Not that anything would ever happen though. She's 2 years older and 6 inches taller than him as well. Hi, said Lisa. Oh, hi. Dennis pretended not to remember her name. Lisa. What's your name? Dennis thought for a moment about changing his name to something a bit cooler, like Brad or Dirk, to try and to impress her, but realized that would be insane. Dennis. Oh, hi, Dennis, said Lisa. What are you in here for? I headed a ball into Hawtrey's office. Cool, said Lisa, laughing. Dennis laughed a little too. She obviously assumed that he had headed the ball into the headmaster's office on purpose, and he wasn't about to correct her. What about you? Asked Dennis. I wasn't wearing the correct school uniform. This time Hawtrey said my skirt was too short. Dennis looked at her skirt. It was short. I don't care really, she continued. I'd rather wear what I want and get the odd detention now and again. Sorry, interrupted Mrs. Windsor. There's not really meant to be any talking in detention. Miss Windsor was one of the nicer teachers who didn't really enjoy telling pupils off. She would usually say excuse me or sorry before she did. She was probably in her late 40s. Miss Windsor didn't wear a wedding ring or seem to have any kids. She liked to exude a little French sophistication by throwing colourful silk scarves over her shoulder with mock nonchalance and devouring 4 packs of croissants from the Tesco Metro at break time. Sorry, Miss Windsor, said Lisa. Dennis and Lisa smiled at each other. Then Dennis got back to his lines. I must not head a ball into the headmaster's window. He looked over what Lisa was doing. Instead of her lines, she was idly sketching some dress designs. A ball gown with a plunging back looked like it wouldn't be out of place in Vogue. She turned over the page and started sketching a strapless top on a pencil skirt. Next to that, she drew a long, flowing white suit that went in and out in all the right places. Lisa clearly had a real flair for fashion. Excuse me, said Miss Windsor, but you should really concentrate on doing your own work, Dennis. Sorry, miss, said Dennis, and he started his lines again. Dennis sighed and rubbed out the last few lines. He was getting distracted. After about 45 minutes, Miss Windsor looked at her watch anxiously and addressed the class of 2. I'm sorry, she said, but would either of you mind if we finished the detention 15 minutes early? Only I would like to get home in time for neighbours. Lassiter's coffee shop is reopening today after the dramatic fire. No problem, miss, said Lee, smiling. Don't worry, we won't tell anyone. Thank you, said Miss Windsor, confused for a moment that somehow the roles had been reversed, and it was Dennis and Lisa who were letting her off. You want to walk me home, Dennis? Asked Lisa. What? Said Dennis in a panic. I said, do you want to walk me home? Yeah, okay, said Dennis, trying to sound cool. Dennis felt like a celebrity as he walked down the road with Lisa. He walked slowly so he could be with her for as long as possible. I couldn't help noticing your drawings, those dress designs. They're brilliant, said Dennis. Oh, thanks, they're nothing really. I was just doodling. I love the way you look. Thank you, replied Lisa, trying not to laugh. I mean, dress. Dennis corrected himself. Dress. I love the way you dress. Thanks, said Lisa, smiling again. She looked so unutterably gorgeous when she smiled that Dennis could barely look at her. Instead, he looked down at his shoes, noticing that they were round-toed. Beautiful shoes, he offered. Well, thank you for noticing. Apparently round-toed shoes are in this year. Pointed toes are out. Where did you read that? Vogue. You read Vogue? Dennis caught his breath. What had he said? In all the excitement of being with Lisa, his tongue was running away with himself. Yeah, well, once. Well, I think it's cool. You do? Asked Dennis, incredulous. Yeah, not nearly enough boys are into fashion. I suppose not, Dennis said. He wasn't sure if he was into fashion or just like looking at pictures of pretty dresses, but he chose not to mention it. Do you have a favourite designer? Lisa asked. Dennis wasn't sure if he did, but he remembered really liking one of the dresses in the magazine, a cream floor-length ball gown designed by John Galley something. John Galley something, he said. John Galliano, yeah, he's amazing, a legend. He designs all the pieces for Dewar too. Dennis loved that she said pieces. That was the word they used in Vogue for items of clothes. Well, this is my house. Thanks, Dennis. Bye, said Lisa. Dennis's heart sank a little that their walk was already over. She went to go to the front door, then stopped for a moment. You could come over at the weekend if you like, she said. I've got loads of great fashion magazines I could show you. I really want to be a designer or a stylist or something when I'm older. Well, you are very stylish, said Dennis. And he meant it sincerely, but somehow it sounded a bit cheesy. Thank you, said Lisa. She knew she was. Everyone knew she was. It's Saturday tomorrow. Is 11 o'clock any good for you? I think so, said Dennis, as if any event in his past or future could prevent him from being at her house at 11 o'clock. I'll see you then, she said. She gave him a smile and passed out of view. Just like that, Dennis's world went back to normal again, like when the lights go on in the cinema at the end of a film. Okay, that's the chapter done. Like I said, I don't think we're going to get through all the book, but it's just nice to read the story, isn't it? Until we start after half term again. All right, then, guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.